What's up, guys? This is my red hybrid deck list. We're hitting you with the 4 Koromon. Whenever you check a security, you get to draw one. Next, hitting you with 4 of the BT12 Flamemon. When you on-play him, you can ditch a hybrid from your hand to draw 2, and his inheritable is just an extra 2000 DP. Next, we are playing 4 copies of BT17. This is probably the best searcher you have in this deck. You get to on-play reveal 3, and you can add a tamer with an inheritable effect, a Tin Warrior, or a hybrid. And then his inheritable is to play a tamer without paying the cost. Basically your Takuyas. Next, so for this, we're going to be playing 2 copies of BT7. The on-play is really bad in this deck because you're searching top 4, adding a Takuya or a hybrid, so you're bot decking 3 cards. It's never really been a great searcher, but again, you use it for the on-deletion, play a Takuya. That's the inherited, of course. Next, we're going to our level 4s. We're running the BT17 engine. So obviously, this is your ancient combo engine. You go into the Burning Gray, you swing with it. It has Raid, which can come up. And whenever he swings, he can Digivolve into a hybrid in the hand, reducing the cost by 1. Obviously, that combos into the Aguni. The Aguni is when Digivolving. If you have Burning Gray in the sources or a bunch of different colored tamers, you don't care about that part. You can Digivolve into an AncientGreymon for a cost of 3, and then it deletes itself at the end of the turn. They both Evo on top of Takuya for 2 and each other for 1. And then, of course, we are obviously playing 4 Promo Aguni, a really good aggro in the deck. You can Digivolve this guy in the Raising, unlike Promo Lobo, and then you can promote next turn, swing, and for 2 memory, go into your Ancient Gray, and of course, he deletes himself at the end of the turn. And this deck can actually utilize the Inherited pretty easily because you can tuck your cards from the trash. When Digivolving a stack with this in the sources, you can reduce the cost of AncientGreymon by 2 for each copy, so that can come up, so you can Evo into your Ancient Gray for free if you have multiple of these in your sources. We are running Gigas. This card just can steal games because on play or when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gain Rush. So basically you play the Tamer, you Evo into him, target himself, and then if you have the Tamer with the end of turn swing, you can just swing. Or if you still have the memory, you can just swing anyway. And then his, when attacking as an inheritable, deletes Floodgates. That's basically it, just 3000 DP or less. That never really comes up. 1 copy of Aldemon. Obviously, he's your BT7 Aldemon. He Evos for 1 on top of a stack with a hybrid tamer. And then, of course, gives himself the extra 4000 DP. And then he has the inheritable of not checking options out of security. So, obviously, really good card. We only need 1 of them, though. Once you see it, and then you can just keep recycling it from there. Next, for the Ancient Greymons, we're running 2 of the original Secret Rares. This is your OTK card. Basically, anytime you think you can push for lethal, you can go into him because you can check so many security with him. Basically, you can go promo in the back into Raid, burning in the back, promote that stack, swing with it, go into Aguni, go into Ancient, and you can check all 5 of your opponent's security with just 1 guy, which is obviously pretty disgusting. And then on deletion, you could play a level 4 or lower hybrid from your hand without paying the cost. And then, of course, 4 of the main man himself, BT17 Ancient Gray. On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as him. And then he also has security check +1 naturally. On deletion, you can do the exact same thing as Ancient Garu, where you can recycle a hybrid from the trash. And then you can also recycle a tamer from the trash. And then you can play any tamer for free. And then he also has the Digicross, same as the Ancient Garu, where you can Digicross with a Aguni and Burning Gray to reduce the cost by 3 for each of those. 1 Ruin Mode. Because there are ways for you to delete your own stack, it's really easy to proc this twice in 1 turn. Just promoting a promo Aguni into any of your ancients basically guarantees that you're going to be able to double proc this, because obviously they're going to kill themselves at the end of the turn. So once you're done swinging through all their security, you Evo into it, -5, end of turn, deletes himself, -10. So that's pretty broken. 4 of the 5 cost dual tamer, Takuya Koji. He is your memory setter of the deck. The 5 cost really doesn't come up because honestly, you're playing him for free most of the time. Start your main phase, you can tuck hybrids from your trash based on how many tamers you have on the board. It doesn't care about the names of the tamer, but it does care about the name of the hybrid. You can only tuck 1 of each name. So keep that in mind when you're tucking with this card. Still pretty nice. He tucks a lot of dudes pretty quickly, so this is a really good card. And then, of course, his inheritable is that end of turn swing. This is how you swing for games sometimes. 3 copies of the BT17 Takuya. This guy gives piercing if you're at 10,000 DP or higher, and then start of your turn, if your opponent has Digimon, gain a memory. Of course, it also gives out 2,000 DP. And then piercing is also really nice because, as you remember, our Raid Burning Gray exists, so you can raid into your opponent's body, go into your Ancient, who's going to be be a bajillion DP, and then you still get your checks anyway. And then 2 copies of our original BT7 Takuya. The reason we're still running him, even though you don't have Emperor Greymons, is because you can do the warp cancel where you tuck 5, don't Evo, and then go into somebody else. That's a really easy way to get your secret rare ancient to have a bajillion checks, or you just use it for the extra security check. So your BT17 can have 3 checks instead of 2. 4 copies of Analog Youth. Because we are playing a ancient deck, you're playing 4 of this guy. Reveal top 3, add 1 Digimon, trash the rest. Great. You hit a tamer, cool, because your ancient's going to recycle anyway. All turns, whenever you're level 5 or higher with sources is deleted, tap to hatch and gain a memory. So you go into your ancient and you pull turn back. Pretty broken. And then you get to, of course, hatch again. You can just start your whole turn. Next, after that, we have 2 of the Ancient Guardian Deities. I want to find more room for this because I would love to play a 3rd, because recycling your ancients is so nice, but I genuinely just don't know what I would cut. So, of course, when you have a tamer or a hybrid on the board, you can ignore the color requirements, and then his main effect is you may return a Digimon card with hybrid or 10 warriors, so this is how you recycle your ancients, from your trash back to your hand, and then you may play a 10 warrior or a tamer with an inherited for a reduced cost of 4. So this into Ancient Gray is a 4 cost play, 2 for this and then 2 for the Digicross, or you can just use it to play one of your tamers for almost free. I say almost because the 5 cost will still cost you 1 extra memory, so it's a 3 cost play. But then its security effect is you can play a tamer with an inherited from your hand or trash without paying the cost, and then add it to your hand. Very good option card for the deck. 2 copies of Gravity Crush. If I were to cut something for an extra Guardian, I think it would be Gravity Crush, but I do like running 2 because your opponent only ever thinks you have 1, and then you drop 2 on them and they're like, no, the game's over. So I do like running 2, but I can definitely see an argument for cutting this for a 3rd copy of this, or an extra level 4, whatever you feel like. But of course, you know what this does. No security effect, but you gain 2 memory. At the end of turn, you lose 2 memory. Doesn't matter because you're going to kill your opponent when you use it, so they're never going to see that memory. And then 2 of the cards I added post-tournament, Red Memory Boost. I used to have the Uko engine in here, but I got really tired of not being able to search the cards immediately. I'd much rather just put this option on the board, search the cards immediately, dig 1 card deeper, and then have a memory delay for the following turn to go into. I think this is just going to feel better in the deck overall. Sure, you're bot decking tamers, but like, we're playing a deck where seeing the tamers is pretty secondary to the ancient. If you don't see ancient, you don't play the game. So I'm definitely going to go with the Red Memory Boost going forward. So obviously you're revealing top 4, add a red Digimon, and then main delay gain 2. But that's my red hybrid deck profile. If you guys like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.